Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Convocation Center, home of your California Vulcans. Today, the Vulcans are taking on the Walsh Cavaliers. It's supposed to be a good one. The California Vulcans come in 3-6 as the Walsh Cavaliers come in 4-5. This should be a good matchup. And today, I'm here with Gary Smith. Gary Smith, how you doing?
I'm doing well, JJ. It's a pleasure to be with you today. We got a big afternoon of volleyball, evening of volleyball. California coming into this game against Walsh, a non-conference matchup. Walsh traveling a little over 3 hours to get here from Canton, Ohio. They have several teams that they share opponents with this year. Walsh has played Point Park and Fairmont, as well as California. California beat Point Park 3-1 and lost 0-3 to Fairmont, and Walsh beat Point Park 3-0 and lost 2-3 to Fairmont.
Yes, they did. This should be a good matchup. A little bit of last adjustments on the court right now. So once that is finished, we will get on with this game. Last minute substitutions for the Cavaliers into the game. The officials communicating with both teams as it looks like Walsh will be the team that will go back for the first serve of the game.
And JJ's, I knocked my headset off there. It's good to be back in the Convo Center for Vulcan Volleyball.
Indeed it is, as the ball is up and over. Set to the far side. Elisa Ruggiero is blocked at the net, but California able to keep the ball in play right back to Ruggiero. Ball sent to the middle of the court, tipped by the Vulcans, but able to keep the ball in play, luckily. Ruggiero all over the court on the opposite side now. Block attempt unsuccessful, but the ball does go out of bounds. Their first point will be rewarded to the California Vulcans.
And a good amount of restraint right there for California not to tip it at the net for it to go out. Now California's going to get a chance. And this is what I think is big. You got a team that came in, like I said, a little over 3 hour drive on the bus. So if you're California, you'd like to get some points early and make them think about it and maybe get a win here tonight. Indeed,
as Kaylin Kinfelser sets the serve over, but the ball does go in court on the side of California, which is Walsh's first point of the game.
And that was a big swing by Anna West for Walsh. She's coming into this game hitting at about a 305 clip, so she definitely is someone that if she gets the attack is going to put it down.
Walsh with the serve up and over. Set up to the outside. Elisa Ruggiero with the kill attempt unsuccessful. Bump is completely out of bounds, but it goes outside of the antenna, which is a nice free point for the California Vulcans. Natalie Beer now goes back for the serve for your California Vulcans. Ball's up and over, dug out awkwardly there. A little bit of miscommunication by the Walsh team. Over to California. Lekenfuss gets it to Sophia Johnson. Sophia Johnson will get rewarded the point there. Nice bump back over the net. Point Vulcans as Natalie Beer is going back to serve once again.
And Natalie Beer is a player. We heard her name a lot during the Vulcan Invitational a few weeks ago. So nice to see her get in and make a key contribution and a big block there. It seems like we've said that for a while. Sophia Johnson and Ali Dronberger on that left side just throwing it back down for another point for California.
Their team chemistry is unmatched by anyone else on this California team, especially as best friends and roommates for a long time. As Beer is now back up and over. Set to the middle of the court, and that is directly in the middle of the entire California team. That is another point for Walsh.
And that was just one of those stay-out-of-the-way situations. I don't know, even if California's in position, that was just such a nice set and a kill for Walsh that, you know, sometimes you can play well, but sometimes the other team just has a better play, and that's what happened there.
Ball is up and over, dug out by California towards the net, to the outside to Dronberger. Dronberger gets tipped at the net, but keeps the ball in play. Walsh tipped at the net as well, but California, a little bit of miscommunication on who wanted to get the ball there between Pavada and Linkisfer.
And I was trying to see the number for the player for Walsh that made the kill, but just off the block and down. So Walsh rallying a little bit after down 3 early on in the first set.
Set to Johnson. Johnson is completely denied at the net. That is another point for Walsh.
And that's Elizabeth Bauer, the big presence in there, 6'2" from Randolph, Ohio. So it's a lot of size in the middle when that rotation favors Walsh. And there's a serve into the net, JJ. And
free point
like
for the Vulcans.
Gotta love free points. Gotta love free anything.
Oh, I love free stuff. Free stuff is the best. Some substitutions now coming in for California as Favada and Ruggiero go out of the game.
It's Morgan Johnson coming in. She'll go back to serve. Johnson, a freshman from Leonardtown, Maryland.
As she serves the ball up and over, dug out by the libero for Walsh. Set to the close side of the court, tipped at the net, but California scrambling to get to the ball. A nice diving effort there, but unfortunately unable to get the ball back over the net legally. Point for Walsh.
That was kind of a weird play. I always thought the referee right there in the chair was going to call a carry or a little push against Walsh, but judged it to be in play and fair play, and another point for Walsh, and we're tied up at 5 here in the convo.
Walsh with the serve up and over the net, dug out by Dronberger. Almost out of bounds, but luckily California able to get the ball back over to Walsh. Set to the close side of the court, tipped at the net by California. To the outside to Dronberger, tapped over the net. Walsh was ready for it though. Once again set to the close side of the court. Up and over, dug out by the libero for California as Dronberger hits a dime off the arms of the California team, off the Walsh team, Anna West, as it goes back into the backcourt for a point.
And JJ, that was just a thing of beauty. It always seems like Dronberger, she's attacking from that left side, is going to get a good swing with her right hand, and that time she did. With impunity, hits the back wall, and a point for Cal.
Dronberger now back to serve after the point. Dug out by the libero for Walsh. Set to the far side of the court. Somehow they are able to get the ball over the net. California working to get it back over as well. Set by the libero, set to the far side of the court. Hit, and it looks like it goes out of bounds. That is a point for the California Vulcans.
Yeah, Bauer, kind of a unforced error, not a mental error, but unforced error. She had a wide swath of court and just hits it a little too wide, and California point.
Dronberger back with the serve is up and over. High set there by Walsh. Set to the close side of the court. Off the arms of number 6 Morgan Johnson as the ball goes out of bounds. Point Walsh.
And that was Sydney Dixon, the grad student from Valparaiso, Indiana. Only listed at, she's listed at 5'10", which she looks a little smaller out there, but she got a good swing and a good kill attempt there for Walsh.
Set by Johnson to the outside. Kill attempt unsuccessful there as Walsh is able to keep the ball up in the air as there's a free ball back over to California. Set to Sophia Johnson as she forces it towards that back corner. Nice diving effort there by Walsh to get the ball back over. But it goes outside of the antenna, which is a free point for the Vulcans.
I tell you what, Sophia Johnson that time, I think she was thinking about throwing it straight down, but smart play just to put it to the back corner, and Walsh, I think, might have had a chance to dig it if she would have went for a kill attempt, puts it in the back, and gets the point for California.
Up and over, dugout set, and quick attack there. California scrambling to keep the ball in the air as it sends a free ball back over to Walsh. Set to the close side of the court, and is off the arms of California. Looked like a little attack there at Morgan Johnson for a nice Walsh Cavaliers point.
And that was Sammy DeBeese, the 6'2" outside hitter from Perry, Ohio. So, tell you what, looking at Walsh, they have a substantial amount of 5'10" to 6'2" players out there, and that's going to be tough for anybody to handle, especially California today.
Kill attempt blocked by the wall of Walsh.
And that was DeBeese right there. And we said, 5'10" with some jumping ability. And right now, California, 2-point lead. And that's what you'd like to see if you're California. Is I think they said that went off of out of bounds. So that's going to be a point California. Going back will be Flavata.
As she was just subbed in along with Eliza Ruggiero. Flavata with the service up and out of inbounds, just barely. That was an amazing call there by the ref as Cal goes up 10-7.
And that was just a floater. That was slow motion. Flavata, just placement over power. California 3-point lead.
Flavata once again back with the serve. Ball is up and over, dug out by the libero. Far side set and off the arms of California as a nice block. Set back over the net. Interesting move there. Tipped at the net. Unfortunately, California doesn't hit it high enough, and that goes on the side of California. That's a point for Walsh.
And that was Anna West just throwing it down on California. And that ball was just placed too close to the net for California to be able to do anything. So another rotation happening and going back to serve, and hopefully California can defend to serve, get a point, and get back on the offense.
Walsh with the service up and over, dug out by California. High over the net. Luckily, Walsh is there in time as Ruggiero goes for the attack towards the libero as libero keeps it up in the air. Nice block there by the Vulcans' Natalie Beer.
And Beer was right there. I mean, there was talk about a door being slammed shut, JJ. That door was slammed shut, locked, stubbed the toe, and get the point for California.
Well, I know a locksmith, so we can get it unlocked.
Substitution coming in for California going back to serve is Kay Lindenfelser.
Set to the outside. going for the back court, and it is out of bounds. Point for the Vulcans.
And give credit to Allie Dronberger that time. She got over just enough, forced the player, the kill attempt, to just have to miss the antenna, but there was no chance for her to get it in play.
Ball up and over, dug out by Walsh. Set to the bump to the far side as a nice, easy little attack there. California scrambling to get the ball back over the net as they do it successfully. Tipped back into the block, but it goes off the arms of Natalie Beer and goes out of bounds, which is a point for Walsh.
And once again, that was Anna West just taking the angle and shooting it off the angle and out of play for a point for Walsh. But California, as we talked about, JJ, against a team that had a long road trip, just getting in here about 4:30 today, want to try and get up on them early and maybe make them think about getting back on that bus.
Walsh sets the ball to the far side of the court as it is into the net, and it goes. It does hit the ground, it seems, as that is a nice free point for the California Vulcans.
It's a nice little run here as Sophia Johnson checking back in for the Vulcans. Checking out was Caroline Mercer.
Natalie Beer is now back to serve for the California Vulcans. Ball's up and over, dug out by Walsh. Set to the middle of the court is right off of Kay Lindenfelser.
And there was absolutely nothing Lindenfelser could do on that one. That ball was hit straight down. She did a good job just to get a hand on it, but the angle was coming in at. There was nothing she could do, and Walsh gets the point. Going back to serve will be Anna West.
Ball's up and over, dug out by California. Set to the outside, Dronberger with the tip over the net, but Walsh was ready for it as they tip it right back to her. That is a point for Walsh.
Carly Pugh not fooled by that little dink attempt by Dronberger, and unfortunately when we do something like that, there's going to be some space behind you, and Walsh found it and gets to within two.
Dug out by Dronberger. Ruggiero sent it to the middle of the court as Dronberger sets it right back over to Walsh. Walsh to the outside, and a nice kill effort there, but it was unsuccessful. Nice effort there by the California Vulcans. Keep the ball in the air. Free ball back over to the Vulcans. Set to Johnson. Johnson's ball was deflected back into the air. High set there, trying to get the ball back out over the net. Setting to Dronberger. Dronberger with a nice point there. Point Vulcans.
And I tell you what, Dronberger coming off that left side, just a thing of beauty. There's going to be a timeout called for Walsh as trying to stop the run. California ahead by 3, but definitely all the momentum as I try and talk. I just looked down and saw myself on your live Snapchat.
My Instagram,
so, yeah.
my Instagram.
Or it's Instagram, so I'm now on Instagram with Jay Smooth. So I feel very, very important. There's Noah, but again, great to be back here. Busy weekend of Cal Athletics for the volleyball team. They play tonight, of course, against Walsh, and then Saturday at 5 p.m. they host PSAC Westford, the Edinburgh Fighting Scots. Also that day, California, the football team will play Gannon. Soccer plays, so if you're a Vulcan fan, this weekend's a good time to come down and have your face seen, maybe in the background of the CTV broadcast. Maybe see yourself in the background of Jay Smooth's Instagram video. I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know where his camera goes.
Hey,
it worries me. I mean,
during the football game, I'll be on the field. Maybe I get a picture of you with my camera, post it on the Instagram. We got to see, though.
Or you're going to get a picture of JJ running away from a player going right out of bounds, or his history of that. We've seen that before.
Shout out Jermaine Hall.
But it's also good to be back in the swing of things. This is what we love to do, and love to see California get a few more points here.
Indeed. California is now back to serve. Ball is up and over. Dug out by the libero. Low dig there. Trying to get the ball back over successfully. As it is unsuccessful, that is a point for the California Vulcans.
So California extending, I believe this is their largest lead of the first set, 4 points, and within 10 of claiming set number 1.
Indeed. Ball is served up and over. Awkward dig out there by the libero. Set to the close side of the court. Nice dig there by California. Keep the ball in the air as Dronberger goes for a kill. It is off the arms of the Cavaliers, and that is a point for the Vulcans.
It's almost too easy. Like I said, Dronberger coming off that left side. She has an advantage coming in, her right hand swinging into the court. And I don't know much about volleyball or physics, but I know that neither of those add up to being able to keep a ball in play too often if you're on the opposite end of that.
I cannot agree more. Set to the outside. Tip over the net. Nice diving effort there by California, but unsuccessful. That is a point for Walsh.
And I believe that was Carly Pugh who's going to check out again. Just making a little bit of adjustment. California has a good rotation with Sophia Johnson right in the middle, so that's going to be tough to get over that block. So just a little dink shot over and point for Walsh.
Ball up and over, dug out by Lincoln Felser. Tapped over by Sophia Johnson, almost running into the net there, but luckily she did not. Awkward set there, bump to Droneberger. Droneberger sends it back over to Walsh. Looking to go for a kill attempt there towards the back row. It's off the hands of Kay Lincoln-Felser. And that is a point for Walsh once again.
And I tell you what, despite the fact California gave the point, I really like the thought process for Droneberger. She instead of trying to go for it and make a kill from further away from the net, put it in the back and try and live another day. But unfortunately, Walsh was just able to put it away for the point.
Set to Johnson. Johnson off the hands of Walsh. Little bit of tumbling around there. Hopefully everyone's okay as they get the ball back over to California. Set to Droneberger. Droneberger with a nice slam into the ground there. That is a point for the Vulcans.
Droneberger will go back to serve, and checking in for the Vulcans is number 7, Anna Marie Petrovich. She's the freshman out of New Freedom, Pennsylvania. So we noted this during the Vulcan Invitation a few weeks ago. A lot of new names for Coach Emmerich and her staff.
Even her name's a new name.
Hey, look at this guy. Get him on Instagram and he becomes a comedian.
Nice block there by the Vulcans.
And I was going to say, nothing funny about that. Sophia Johnson just throwing it down. And she's having herself a pretty good early part of this season.
Droneberger now back with the serve. Ball is up and over. Dug out by Walsh. Walsh sets to the outside. And that goes out of bounds, I believe. Wait for the call. Yes, out of bounds. Point Vulcans.
So California now getting it to that point. They need 7 before Walsh gets 12. So if you're a Vulcan fan, you got to like that math. That's math we can understand.
Is it?
I can understand it. I mean,
all right. Dug out by Walsh. Set to the close side of the court. And that is a point attacking the libero, number 5, Taylor Pascoe.
Sydney Dixon, the grad student again from Valparaiso, Indiana, just crossing everybody up with the shot and gets a point for Walsh.
Up and over, dug out by Droneberger. Set and to Johnson. Johnson right back at her from the outside, blocked once again, but nice tip there by Johnson to keep the ball on Walsh's side of the court. Free ball back over. Droneberger bumps the ball into the air. And nice kill there. Unfortunately, I can't see the number. So, if Gary, if you could see the number, that'd be great. It was like number 12, actually.
You are correct. Elizabeth Bettina, sophomore from Hanover, Virginia.
Some substitutions coming in for California now. Ball is up and tipped at the net, but over. That was a nice serve there as it goes towards the back court now. The Vulcans giving it to Droneberger. Droneberger off the fingers. High set there by Walsh, coming towards the close side of the court. Libero sets the ball nicely for California as the ball is bumped back over to Walsh. Hit over the net towards Droneberger. Droneberger was ready for that one all day as Natalie Beer gets the point there. Nice point for her as it goes off the hands of Walsh. It stays on their side of the court, which is obviously a point for the Vulcans.
And Natalie Beers, also, we talked about Sophia Johnson having a good beginning of the season at the net. Beers also been a presence up there for the Vulcans.
Ball is up and over, dug out by Walsh. Set up to the close side of the court as it is just a direct attack towards the freshman, Morgan Johnson.
That was Sammy DeBeese, again, 6'2". That's tough to even try and get a hand on it, let alone trying to get a hand and control on that. So, again, California, give up a point, but you're up 6 right now. Only needing 4 to end this set.
Ball's up and over, dug out by the libero for California, setting to the outside. Kill attempt, unsuccessful as Walsh puts it really high into the air. Droneberger keeps it in the air directly over as it is once again towards Droneberger. Droneberger unable to get to the ball for that one. That's a point for Walsh.
And DeBeese, she was smiling like it was Halloween night with the free bag of candy. She just had a wide open area and a pretty easy kill attempt there.
Set by the Vulcans. Kill attempt towards the back court, unsuccessful. Set to the middle of the court, tapped over the net. Set towards the far side of the court, but completely blocked, but out of bounds off the hands of Walsh. Point, Vulcans.
And I believe that was Petrosevic for California, the freshman. And some substitutions now for the Vulcans. It looks like Flavata and Ruggiero coming back in to try and end this first set for California.
Flavata now back with the serve up and over. Dug out there by Walsh. Set to the outside, and that goes to Dronberger. Dronberger was ready for it as they set it to the outside, tipped at the net. As Beer sends it right back over the net. And the libero for California, knowing she made a mistake there, Caroline Mercer, she knew she should have been there for the ball, but unfortunately she was not.
Yeah, it was just one of those unfortunate two players in the same area right between them. So honestly, it's probably better she didn't go after it because that could have been a situation we had two players collide and you don't see any injuries.
Sounds like our pickleball game yesterday.
You beat me to it. We'll get to that later.
Ruggiero with the hit over the net, but it was blocked. Free ball back over, almost out of bounds, but Walsh decides to play it towards the close side of the court, off the hands of California into the back court. Another point for Walsh.
I tell you what, the angle of that attack was straight down. There was no way California is going to be able to keep that in play. So a little bit of a rally, see if maybe one more point is gained if California may call a timeout to try and end this run.
Ball is up and out of bounds. 3 point for the Vulcans.
And that's one of the things I bet you Coach Brent Holtfer, Walsh just grinding his teeth because you have a little bit of a momentum going on and then just give California a free point with the serve halfway into the stands.
California is now 2 points away from putting the set away as the ball is up and over by California. Set toward the far side of the court, tipped at the net. California scrambling a little bit there, getting the ball over to Ruggiero as Ruggiero tries to get the ball. And a nice effort there by Walsh to keep the ball in play. Set to the middle of the court as Ruggiero hits it into the net, and that will go as a violation. 3 point for Walsh.
Yeah, I think they got Fovato coming in and not able to stop, and she crossed over into the other side of the court. So still, despite giving up a point, California's still only 2 points away. And there's the timeout for California. Good idea, I think, to stop this run. Just to, this is probably as much to finish out this set is also to say, let's, if we can finish this set out, let's keep the momentum going into set number 2. I mean, how many times have we seen in the past couple years a team winning the first set, by any number score, 25-21, 25-15, 36-34, and then somehow losing the second set because the other team, they just had a little bit of momentum going into that second set or the next set. So I think this might just be a timeout call. Calm everybody down, say you're 2 points away. Let's finish business here. Take a minute or two between sets and then get at them in set number 2.
Well, I couldn't agree more. California definitely game planning for these last couple of points that they need to put up on the board. Of course, 2 away from putting the set away. Walsh coming back within 6 now to put the set away. But California's back out onto the court. Walsh taking a little bit more time, probably even game planning for the start of the next set just to get the idea in their players' heads. As Walsh will go back to serve as the timeout ends. Right now, you hear the buzzer. Here we go to start after the timeout. Ball is up and over, dug out by the libero for California. Set to the far side of the court. Dronberger almost hits it out of bounds, but Walsh decides to play it. Bump to the close side of the court over the head. Nice effort there by Linkenfelser, except California cannot get it back over the net. Points for Walsh.
That was a heck of an effort by Linkenfelser. I don't think she had any right to even get an arm to that ball, but she did, almost kept it in. But Walsh now trying, keeping and clawing in. They're only down 3 now.
Ball's up and over, dug out by California's libero. Set to the far side. Dronberger going for a kill attempt there, unsuccessful. Set to the close side of the court now as it is out of bounds. California now on set point.
And I tell you what, everybody for Walsh was looking hopingly at the near chair umpire, hoping for a tip, but she conferred with her assistants. No tip was given, and now, as you said, California set point.
Natalie Beer now back to serve. Ball is up and over, dug out by Walsh. Set to the outside, free ball back over. Beer sets it. So does Pavada as Ruggiero is blocked at the net, and that is inbounds. Point for Walsh.
Sydney Dixon just coming over, cutting off the angle on Ruggiero, and then getting the point. So Walsh not going quietly into the night in this first set, but California, you got to like the fact you only need 1 before Walsh gets 5.
Anna West with the serve is over the net. Set to Lisa Ruggiero as the ball is awkwardly there. There's a free ball back over to California. Let's see if they can do something with it. Set to Dronberger. Dronberger with the hammer. As it could have gone out of bounds, but California decides to play it. Once again with the hammer, Walsh is able to keep the ball in play. high hit over the net there for Walsh to get it back over to California. As Johnson sends a nice little flick of the wrist over to Walsh. Diving effort there by California, keep the ball in the air. Ball hit back over once again by Joenberger. Tip right there with the libero in the right place. Setting it to Elisa Ruggiero, but she keeps it in the air once again. As the ball flies out of bounds, that is the first set going to California. You are watching Vulcan Volleyball here on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network.
More than 7,500 student athletes working to become champions in the league's 23 championship sports. 17 member campuses, educating more than 110,000 students, with an alumni base that tops the 1 million mark. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference making the PSAC proud.
Vulcan football is back and ready to take on the best the PSAC has to offer this fall. After road games at Charleston, Westchester, and Lock Haven, the Vulcans return to Adamson Stadium for the home opener on September 28th. Save the date for October 19th and homecoming versus Slippery Rock. The Coal Bowl comes to Adamson Stadium on October 26th versus IUP. The home schedule concludes with back-to-back games on November 9th versus Edinburgh and Senior Day November 16th versus Shippensburg. For up-to-date information on the Vulcans, follow Cal Vulcans on social media or go to calvulcans.com. For live games and highlights, go to CUTV Sports 1 on YouTube or the PSAC Digital Network.
Sports fans, we pack stadiums, arenas, and local gyms every day. And every sports fan is uniquely human. Seeing each play with your own eyes, triggering your own emotions. And as humans, we won't agree on every call, but we can act with empathy and consideration. So put yourself in the official shoes. Be more than a fan. Be officially human.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Convocation Center, home of your California Vulcans. The Vulcans successfully take the first set, 25-21. We're going to take a quick look at the records coming into today's game. California Vulcans are 3-6, 2 of those wins coming at home. And the Walsh Cavaliers coming in 4-5, a little bit of an offset record there. They've won one more game than we have, but that's just usually how sports is, never really even records. So California looking to improve their record here over the Walsh Cavaliers.
And a little bit of a housekeeping note. We apologize as we were calling number 5 for Walsh by the not the incorrect last name, the wrong pronunciation. It's Paul. So Carly Paul, the outside hitter from Columbus, Ohio. And I will say, impressive to see a pretty good contingent of Walsh fans here at the Convocation Center. They were here early whenever we were setting up. So hope that their stay in California has been nice and always welcome here. But we apologize. So it's Carly Paul, as in Paul.
Indeed. Of course, that she plays for the Walsh Cavaliers. So California back out onto the court, as is Walsh. As Bella Bawawa is messaging me asking who they're playing. They're playing Walsh, Bella.
The Walsh Cavaliers out of Canton, Ohio.
Indeed they are. As some last-minute adjustments to the lineup, California will be serving first from Adriana Favada.
And I tell you what, I think, California, the way that first set ended, they had a pretty significant lead, and then they kind of let it go. But I like the fact Favada will be serving. She doesn't have a lot of speed on the serve, but she can pretty much put it wherever she wants, and it's right there. The announcer jinxed, so first point going to Walsh.
First point goes to Walsh as Adriana Favada sends the ball out of bounds.
I will say, I'll see if you agree, that most of the time if there's a service error, it will be going from right to left here at the Convocation Center. I don't know if there's just a little bit of airflow or what, but you'll see that more often going that direction than the others. There's a nice kill by California.
Nice point there for the Vulcans, tying the game up once again, 1-1. Some substitutions coming into the game. Looks like Kay Linkenfelser comes into the game to serve.
And I don't think we saw a lot of her at the Vulcan Invitational, so good to see her getting in the game and getting some new players in.
Set into the block from Natalie Beer. They will call a point for the Vulcans as there was some sort of violation. Looks like it was called a carry.
And I don't think there was any way that that was going to be successful. Natalie Beer was in great position, and it was going to be a point California no matter what.
The ball gets hit over the net by Walsh, setting the ball back up, freely back over from the libero of California. Set to the far side of the court as it is just a bomb over to Linkenfelser, but California scrambling to get a free ball back over to Walsh. Set by the net in the middle of the court. A nice hit by Adriana Favada to keep the ball in the air. Free ball once again back over to Walsh. Kill attempt is out of bounds off the hands of the Walsh player. Points California.
And circle the hustle on that play by Adriana Favada. She saved a kill attempt, kept the rally going. California, a few exchanges later, gets the point, and just like that, back up 3-1.
Indeed. Another serve by Linkenfelser. Step to the far side of the court. Tipped over. Nice effort there by Ali Dromberg to keep the ball in the air. Off the nice pancake hit there. Hard hit. There was a violation.
Yeah, I didn't see what they're calling. I apologize. I'm not up to every hand gesture for volleyball. Sometimes they're mysterious, but definitely infraction against California was called, and Walsh will go back to serve.
Ball up and over, dug out by the libero of California. Pavada sends it to Ruggiero. Ruggiero hits it out of bounds. There's a point for the for the Cavaliers.
That ties it up, and again, that was just I think a situation where the front line of Walsh gave Ruggiero no real angle to get the ball in play.
Outside hit coming from Dromberger as the ball goes out of bounds.
We'll see how short of a leash California's on, because like I said, they kind of leaked a little oil going to the end of the first set, and see if there's another point or two, or they may call timeout to reset.
I'd like to add, this is Walsh's first lead of the day. Nice point there as their lead is over and is tied up once again at 4-4.
And Natalie Beer with just a little dink shot over, finding some open court. She'll go back to serve, and tell you what, that's got to feel good. You make a nice play like that, and then you get your rotation just times up that you're going back for the serve. So got to feel good, JJ.
I feel good. Bumped out up by the libero as it hits the ground. Points for California. California forcing some errors right there. Nothing California did really there, but California loves those free points.
Tell you what, just the energy on the California team this year is just, it's night and day. You see, after that point, the entire bench was engaged in celebrating, so it's nice to see.
And just wrong place, wrong time for Adriana Pavada as there's a free point for Walsh.
And that was Carly Paul. She just came out of nowhere and had a good angle, puts it down, and she's going to rotate out. She'll go to the bench. Checking in to serve will be Kylie Kalina, defensive specialist from Smithville, Ohio, freshman.
Ball served up and over, dug out by California. Sit to hit to Johnson, right off the hands of Walsh as it just dropped right behind the defenders. Nice point for California.
And on the score sheet, that's going to look like the biggest kill ever, but I think Sophia Johnson has a little smile on her face. Knew she didn't get 100% of that and just kind of trickled it over, but it finds open court for California, and they retake the lead 6-5.
Yeah, the way she sees it, a point's a point.
Point's a point. There's no pictures on scorecards.
Exactly.
There are pictures on CTV Sports 1, however.
That is true. Set to the outside, Walsh off the hands of California. California somehow keeping the ball in play. Is it a free ball back over to Walsh? Little bit of giving the ball back and forth to each other from Johnson and the front line of Walsh. Looks like it's going to be a free ball over to Walsh. Set up to the outside. Flicked over the net, and it looks like there was a free point for the Vulcans.
And I tell you what, JJ, circle Elizabeth Patina's name on that score. A ball came to her early in the rally where it went towards the scores table. She got it back into play, but also stayed on the correct side of the line, because if she went over, even though she was out of bounds, it would have been a violation. So good control there and a good point for California.
I did circle her name because he said to. Tipped and out of bounds off the hands of California. Another point for the Walsh Cavaliers.
And that was Taylor Pasco, off her hands defensive specialist out of nearby Stockdale, Pennsylvania. Just a little bit out of her reach. And again, if you're a longtime volleyball fan, or if you're not a longtime volleyball fan, this is a first year teams can have 2 liberos suited up. So we saw in the Vulcan Invitational that California rotated some liberos, so we'll see that. Looks like Walsh only has 1 libero dressed.
Set up to the far side of the court. Tipped over the net. Looks like it could have gone out of bounds, but California decided to play, so it goes off the hands of California. And that game is now tied 7-7.
And that was a 6'2 junior out of Perry, Ohio, DeBeese. Placement over power.
Ball's up and over, dug out by California. Set to the close side of the court. Tipped over the net by Ali Dronberger. Walsh keeps it in play. Kill attempt going for the freshman. Once again, she seems to be targeted a lot within this game as California sends it out of bounds. Point for the Walsh.
And that was a tough angle for Patina just to try and find that near sideline. She was right up against the net and just pretty much had to go 90 degrees and went, unfortunately, 91 degrees.
Ball is up and over, dug out by California. Set to Sophia Johnson. Sophia Johnson just completely denied at the net as the ball now goes to Ali Dronberger, who's having a great game so far. The freshman bumps the ball back into the air. Libero high bump and free set over from Dronberger. Set there, tipped. California unable to block it, but they are able to keep the ball in the air. So tipped over, forced that over the net as the ball is now set to the outside. California, this is a nice long rally from both teams. Dronberger hits the ball back over the net. Setting the ball now to the outside as it is out of bounds. That is a nice long rally. So California will get the point.
And I've never seen so many people turn their head towards a line judge in my life as everyone was looking. The official on the far left made the call. And California is the beneficiary of it. And once again, just like that, we're tied at 8. And Ali Dronberger back for the serve.
Ball's up and over, dug out by Walsh. Set to the far side of the court as that is just through the hands of the front line of California. It hits the court. That is a point for Walsh.
And that was DeBeese again. Like I said, 6'2". That's tough to deal with as she had the angle, had the hitting angle, and had a good set right to her, and that's going to be a point. So Walsh kind of rebounding here in the second set. Announcer jinx once again.
Indeed. Some substitutions for California.
Must be Caroline Mercer, the other defensive specialist in the game.
Ball's up and over, dug out by Walsh. Set up to the middle of the court. Nice block there by Natalie Beer. Setting it to the outside now. Another block from Natalie Beer as they successfully get over the net this time. California looking to do something with it as they send towards the backcourt, which Walsh was ready for as it just drops in the middle of everyone. Once again, a little bit of miscommunication of who was supposed to get the ball. There was plenty of players in the area to get it, but no one wanted to make the move.
Yeah, it was just a tough situation. Ball was high in the air, and the Convocation Center has a lot higher ceilings than a lot of places that you're going to play volleyball in Division II, so that could have factored in as well.
Nice save there by California, sending it right back over to Walsh. Walsh setting it to the outside. Bump back up into the air. Libero sends it over to Dronberger. Dronberger sends it back over to Walsh. To the middle, nice block there by California as they now try to get it over, and that is just in bounds. Nice point there by the Walsh Cavaliers.
And that was impressive. I mean, that had some angle down, but also to the back line. There was very little anybody in the California Vulcan jersey, even if they could have got to it, could have done with that. So this is an exciting set, back and forth, back and forth.
And now the ball is set over and out of bounds. Free point for the Vulcans.
And that's about the third or fourth time we've seen Walsh, after getting a big rally or a rally stop, just giving it right back with a service error. As we have some subs coming in, it looks like it's going to be Flavata going back to serve back in the game. This is good if you're California defensively because Flavata basically a libero as well. She played that last year, so a couple players that can really dig and pass back on the back line for California.
Indeed. Flavata now setting the ball to the outside. Kill attempt unsuccessful. Walsh keeping the ball in play. Tipped at the net by California. Nice saving effort there by Dronberger. And the ball is set back over to Walsh. Walsh attacking Droneberger, it seems like a lot, really aiming for that back part of the court. Unfortunately, California unable to get the ball over the net as the little light tap from Marie Perchevic is unsuccessful.
Yeah, I think she just mistimed her jump just a little bit because I think maybe she had a little bit of space to get that little drop shot down, but unfortunately was not able to get it in play, and Walsh goes back. 22 points in this set so far, and each team has won 11 of them.
Ball is served up and over, dug out by the libero for California. Set to the outside. Beer's kill attempt is unsuccessful. It was blocked, just completely denied at the net.
And I think that was Anna West will get credit for that block. There was a couple of Cavaliers in the middle, but I think she's the one that got the two hands on it and drop it down, and that's another slim lead for the Cavaliers.
Ball's up and over. A little bit of running into each other there by the California team. Set to the outside, tipped at the net. California looking to get the ball back over. As it goes right back over, Natalie Beer once again attacking the ball. Block unsuccessful, but the ball goes out of bounds. Points, California.
And that was a great job by Beer to kind of reach back on that kill attempt. As I thought for a second it was going to float overhead. She got it over, and just shows if you keep a rally going, the longer it goes, the better chance it is for you to get the point.
Ball now served by Linkenfelser. Set to the close side of the court, and nice block there by Natalie Beer. We're saying her name a lot. She is quite the blocker for California.
And Natalie Beer that time, not only did she get the block down, she kind of directed it to the back corner, so that's pretty good feat of athleticism out of the frontline player for California.
Set to the far side of the court, tipped over, but Beer getting the ball back over the court once again. Set up and another block there. Now going towards the back part of the court, but hit too hard. And there's another point for the California Vulcans.
And I think that's all a result of Beer playing so well up front that if they had to kind of go long because everything in front was being put right back in Walsh's face. So Beer really showing what she can do. And once again, but I think that is going to be on the same side.
They just did 2 points.
And I think maybe she will be, no, she won't be going out.
That point last was given to Walsh. Ball served back over by Walsh now. Povada tips the ball, and there was a violation. Looked like she had crossed the net.
Yeah, her foot went a little bit over the center line, and we're tied again. Not a very large front line right now for California on this rotation.
Set to Ruggiero. Ruggiero gets the ball out of bounds. Points, Walsh. This set goes very back and forth. No one really pulling away.
And again, like I said, we kind of saw California had a pretty big lead at the end of that, gave up some points, and it's been back and forth ever since probably about the three-quarter mark of the first set.
Kill attempt unsuccessful from Droneberger. Excuse me, there is a violation on the side of Walsh.
Now, the point is going to go for Walsh is the official overruled, and that's going to be a timeout for California's. Coach Emmerich is going to try and calm her troops down with a 2-point deficit. Once again, if you're just joining us, you know, if you're a fan of Vulcan Athletics this weekend, this Saturday, come on down to pick your field, JJ. You can either go to the tennis facility at 10 a.m. for Senior Day and finish with that while I deal with changing some people around.
Well, I'll be at tennis because my good buddy friend Nate Kurtz will be taking some photos up there. So if you're there, give us a wave. We'll say hi. We don't bite, I don't think. At least I don't. I'm not sure about Nate. But like Gary said, big jam-packed weekend for Vulcan Sports. We got tennis, we got football, we got another volleyball game. So who doesn't want to see that? Unfortunately, I will not be here for the second volleyball game as I do have work because I'm supposed to do that since I'm an adult. But California now coming back out onto the court as Walsh does now too. Gary moving some people around. Ryan Sape moving to a camera. The two Sapes on camera. So shout out John and Ryan. As big producer Gary Smith is doing producer things. As Walsh is now back to serve Walsh is now back to serve after this timeout that California has taken. Dug out by the libero. set to Beer. Beer attacking the libero for Walsh. Tipped at the net, going back over. Favada setting to Droneberger. Droneberger, high hit over the net, luckily stays in bounds. Block there by Beer and Ruggiero. Over the net, setting by the libero. Ruggiero, once again with a hard hit. Didn't see her much of last before that timeout. Beer looked like it could have been a violation, but she got away with one there. Off the hands of Beer, out of bounds. Point, Walsh. Walsh trying to pull away just a little bit here within this second set. Walsh Cavaliers are winning 17-14 over the California Vulcans. Ball set up and over the net, dug out by California, setting into, tipped at the net and over. That is a point for the California Vulcans. Sophia Johnson now subbing into the game, taking out number 19, Caroline Mercer, as it will be Natalie Beer now going back to serve. Ball's up and over, dug out by the libero for Walsh, set to the far side of the court, and that is off the arms of Kay Linkenfelser.
And that was an athletic attempt by Linfelser. Is again that the angle that block, or excuse me, the angle that kill came at, that was going to be tough just to get a hand on it, and she did a great job just to make an attempt on it.
Walsh now back once again to serve. Ball's up and over, dug out by California, setting it to the close side of the court. Off the hands of Walsh as it goes towards the bench. Point, California.
Some substitutions now for California.
Ball served by California is up and over, dug out by Walsh, set into the middle of the court off the hands of California, but they are able to keep the ball in play. Droneberger going for the back of the court, unsuccessful. Set to the close side of the court now, as it is off of the freshman Morgan Johnson. The libero now for Walsh is back to serve. Aurora Lovingood. Ball served up and over, dug out by Droneberger. Set to the outside to Johnson. Johnson's kill is inbounds. Point for the Vulcans. And that will be Allie Droneberger now back for the serve. Ball is up and over, dug out by, block, but there by Johnson is successful to keep the ball in the air. That's a double hit from Walsh, which gives a point to the Vulcans.
And JJ, I'm not a smart man, but I can see no wrong happening when Sophia Johnson's in the middle.
Well, I think that's a correct observation. She's been playing very well throughout this entire season. And as they are drawing up the floor, making sure no one slips and gets hurt. As there is still a stoppage, putting the towel away, I'm assuming. Coach Audrey Emmerich communicating with the team before the next play gets on their way. Some clapping coming now from the Walsh bench, as Droneberger is now ready to serve. Ball served up and over, dug out there by Walsh. Walsh off the hands of California. Two players in the same area. A little bit of miscommunication there. Droneberger bumping in to Taylor Pasco.
And again, that's just one of those situations. The ball was right between two players. There's just not anything really can do. And hopefully my microphone sounds a little bit better. A couple people said I sounded like I was underwater in a phone booth, and I liked the fact people still know what a phone booth is, so that makes me feel less ancient.
Kill attempt. I don't know if that went forward at all. That looked like a straight kill down.
And speaking about phone booths, JJ, that ball would have been in a phone booth as it came straight down. Anna West, 6'1", senior. She has the experience, she has the height, she has the ability, and she has the point there for Walsh.
Sending the ball to the outside, tipping over the net. Diving effort there by Walsh, keep the ball in the air. Tipped over the net, hit by Johnson. Hits the ball off course a little bit. Point, Walsh.
And it looks like Walsh is getting their sea legs in this second set. You know, like we talked about, they were here early. It's still a long bus ride. First set is always going to be tough, as we jinxed them right there.
Ball goes into the net and back up in the air. California now back to serve. Number 19, Caroline Mercer. Ball's up and over, dug out by Walsh, setting to the far side of the court. Looked like it could have hit her in the face. Looked like her stomach could have hit her there. Point for Walsh. Walsh 2 points away from putting the set away.
And what we've seen, JJ, is just this set. Walsh has been taking advantage of their height, getting some good sets. And, you know, again, I'm not a smart man. Good sets, good kill attempts are going to be equally good things for whatever team that's doing them. And Walsh has definitely been doing some good things in this set.
Beer towards the back court. Unsuccessful as that goes out of bounds. Walsh is now on set point.
And a timeout for California as we see. And again, this I think is not so much about this set is, you know, mathematics is kind of really against California, but I think this has sent a message for set number 3. Let's say, okay, guys, you know, we're not going to get this. We, you know, do what you can. Odds are we're not, but let's play hard. Let's send a message. Let's build on something. That way when set 3 starts 0-0, you know, maybe come out, get that 4-0 run. We haven't seen California really get out to a 4-5-0 run. Neither team has really been able to. Just, I think, indication how evenly matched these two teams are. But think how great it would be for either team, if you're a fan of, to get out to a 4-5-0 run in the third set.
Right.
It's going to be huge.
Momentum. It's been very back and forth. We're playing hot potato with the momentum, if you would. No one really wants to keep a nice lead. Of course, to this point, it was very back and forth, one after another, just points going back and forth for both teams.
And I tell you what, there's an old saying in baseball: momentum's only as effective as your next starting pitcher, and really, momentum in volleyball is almost as only as effective as your next server upcoming. So, just notice there's a bulldog next to us.
Cavaliers now on set point, dug out there by California, setting to the close side of the court, tipped into the net. Excuse me, tipped at the net. Excuse me there. That will be a point for the Walsh Cavaliers as they take the second set, 19-25 over the California Vulcans. We'll be back here on CTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network.
A new era in Vulcan volleyball starts this fall as new head coach Audrey Emmerich leads her team for the 2024 season. Get your first look at the squad when they host the Vulcan Invitational on the weekend of September 13th and 14th. Following a non-conference game versus Walsh on September 26th, the PSAC schedule kicks into high gear with familiar foes such as Edinburgh, Seton Hill, Slippery Rock, and IUP. For up-to-date schedules and more, follow Cal Vulcans on social media and get live games and highlights at CTV Sports 1 on YouTube and the PSAC Digital Network.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates the athletic and academic excellence of its student athletes. Last year, over 4,000 achieved at least a 3.25 GPA to earn recognition as a PSAC Scholar Athlete. Athletically, over 70 PSAC teams qualified for the NCAA championships. Champions on the field, champions in the classroom, making the PSAC proud.
Sports fans, we cheer on our favorite teams at fields, gyms, arenas, and stadiums. But have you ever wondered what it's like to be a referee? Verbal abuse from fans, parents, and coaches is the #1 reason why many referees are walking away. And they're not being replaced quickly enough by new ones. So put yourself in the official shoes, act with respect, and be officially human.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Convocation Center. As you have just seen, the Walsh Cavaliers take a 1-1 tying set to the Vulcans after going up 25-19 over the Vulcans. Both teams getting settled back out onto the court. Final adjustments being made by the Vulcans and the Cavaliers.
And I believe Walsh will have the serve.
I do believe that is correct. On the screen now is Audrey Emmerich, the first-year head coach for the California Vulcans.
She got her first win a couple weeks ago at a neutral site. I believe it was against Wilmington at Millersville when they were out east, and then won 2 matches in the Vulcan Invitational. They beat Point Park and they beat Bloomsburg. And then they played tough the other night against Clarion. Clarion, a perennial PSAC powerhouse. They took a win at Clarion in 1 set, lost 3-1, but a good effort. And another good effort there by the Walsh front line is just looks like the height on this rotation when you got 6'2", 6'2", 5'10". That's tough, JJ.
Oh, and that is definitely tough, especially how can you get over all that height? Especially just hard to get over hits and all. As the ball goes over the far side of the court, California getting the ball over the front line there as the libero sends the ball into the net, but somehow it goes over. Joneberger with a nice save there. Pavada sends the ball to the outside, tipped over the net. Walsh with diving effort there to keep the ball in the air. Attacking the backcourt. Nice there by California to keep the ball in play off the one hand.
Nice rally. We've seen a couple of these in this game so far.
These teams definitely equally matched as Walsh will take a 2-0 lead over California.
That was Carly Paul just coming off the right side, and Paul's at it and finds open space. And JJ, we kind of talked about it before the end of the third set. If a team can get out 4-0, 5-0 run, that could just be what the doctor orders to get an edge here in this match.
Oh, definitely. As they somehow keep that ball in the air, setting it and killing attempt unsuccessful as she throws it directly into the net. California gets their first point of this third set.
We're going to see a substitution now coming in for California, as it will be Lyndon Felser, and she will go back to serve. So Lyndon Felser in for Petrosevic. We need more last names like Smith and Robinson on these teams, JJ.
It'd be a lot
It'd
easier.
be a lot easier.
As there's a free point for Walsh as Lyndon Felser sets the ball out of bounds.
Throwing at Jones, Turner, Sape. And we're hearing breaking news that John Sape was in class with Miss Lyndon Felser's brother today.
Shout out, Bill.
Not sure how effective it was, but that was effective. Natalie Beard's effective, and a point's effective for California.
Looked like someone just got chest bumped on the bench just now, and she fell, which is definitely interesting. Things you see while broadcasting.
And Sophia Johnson checking back in for California. She's been a force definitely in the first set, quiet in the second set, but we know what she can do when she gets heated up.
Didn't see much of her in the second set. As Walsh sets it to the outside, tipped at the net. Beer keeping the ball. Ooh, as Pavada slides under the net. Nice effort there to keep the ball in the air, but too fast. And just slides under the net.
Yeah, great effort, but there was nothing she could do to stop there. She was right on top of the center line when the slide started. So Cal, after a 2-0 start, has Walsh up 4-2.
Ball is up and over. Tipped at the net, down by Walsh. Set to Droneberger. Droneberger off the hands of the front line, as this will be a free ball back over to California. California sets it to Johnson. Johnson hit the ball not hard enough to keep the ball down, as it is blocked, but keeps the ball in play, but they're just not ready for it, as that is a nice point for the Vulcans.
And I'm not sure if that was Johnson or Pertina that got the block there, but put it in a spot that Walsh could not handle, and that'll be a point for California. Checking back in to serve will be Morgan Johnson. She's been a fairly efficient server for the Vulcans this season.
Ball's up and over, dug out by the libero for Walsh, setting to the outside. Tipped at the net, California able to keep the ball in play. Setting it to Ruggiero. Ruggiero off the hands towards the far back court, but they're able to keep the ball in play, but it goes outside of the antenna, which you know
it.
That.
You know it's how the point's going to end up is whenever the chair official covers her head. So you know there's pretty much no way that ball's going to be in. California point, and see if they can string a few together here to take a little control of this third set.
Ball's up and over by California, setting the ball to the close side of the court now. hits the net but continues to fly over, and that goes outside of the antenna as the official once again does a little lean back there.
She might have to call a timeout and just say, hey, listen, let's keep him away from this this chair right now. But tell you what, give all the officials all the credit in the world, because there's really 3 teams out there, the 2 teams playing and the officials. So we didn't have officials, we wouldn't have matches. So they're definitely thankful for their service and what they bring to the sport.
Ball up and over the net. Sending the ball to the back part of the court. Don't usually see that. Now seeing the ball to the far side of the court there. Tipped at the net. Linkenfelser, nice effort there to keep the ball in play in the backcourt. As Dronberger, nice kill there. As it goes off the arms of Walsh. Look like they punched the ball towards the ground. Point to California.
And I tell you what, miles per hour is the first kill attempt for Dronberger was probably a few higher, but that second one was put in a spot that there was no way. And in fact, I think the player for Walsh might have been backing up a little bit to anticipate just another hard kill attempt, but great play by Dronberger, great play by the Vulcans.
Dug out there by Walsh, setting to the close side of the court. Into the block as it goes off the arms of California. Point to Walsh.
And that was Sydney Dixon, the 5'10 grad student from Valparaiso, just was able to get the kill attempt to be off the side of Johnson's arm, and there was no way to keep it in play, and a point for the Cavaliers.
Sending to the far side of the court. Now California keeps the ball in bounds. No one there by Walsh to keep the ball in play. Point, California.
Petra Sevic doing a little bit of a hop step after that as she got everything into that, found some open court, and again, just like the second set, JJ, we got a back and forth, some back and forth action.
And do we do as Mercer sends the ball over, but that ball was off the hands. It was not off the hands of California. That just straight out of bounds.
Yeah, collective sigh of relief as I think everybody in red and black feared that it was going to be a tip, but was not, and we're only down by 1.
Ball up, high up and over, set. And off the hands of Natalie Beer once again.
And JJ, you would think you're having the headset issues because it sounds like you're on repeat right there with Natalie Beer just being able to just control that middle for California.
She's definitely taken over this game for California, not just in this game, but through every other game that she's played for the Vulcans this season. Nice block once again by Beer and Ruggiero. Nice hit there once again by Beer. It really does sound like a broken record. Sending the ball to the far side of the court. Libero for Walsh keeps the ball back in the air. Sending the ball to Dronberger. Dronberger, high hit to keep the ball in the air. Once again towards the far side of the court. Dug out there by Walsh. As the ball goes just in bounds. California holding their breath, trying to get the ball out of bounds, but it stays in bounds. Point, Cavaliers.
And I tell you what, that was impressive play by DeBeese for Walsh's. She was able to get enough topspin just to keep it down inside the back line, and I think everybody in this gym thought that ball was going to be long, but it was not, and a point Walsh.
Set to Beer. Beer sets it over the net. Ball towards the backside of the court. Ali Dronberg cannot get to the ball in time. Another point for Walsh.
And almost the same thing as we saw the point before is just the ball pushed to the back line and nobody there for California.
Ball up and over, dug out by Dronberger. Setting the ball to Beer. Beer tips the ball back over the net. Tipped over the net. Looked like a little glitch there in the system. 3 Cal players doing the exact same diving motion. That is a point for Walsh.
And that was Sammy DeBeese again. Just that time, not a lot of power, a lot of placement, and a lot of points for Walsh.
Tipped awkwardly there. Elizia Ruggiero able to get to the ball in time. Set towards Dronberger. Dronberger keeping the ball in the air. Outside tip, but California was ready for it. There's one more hit over the net as there's a free ball back over to Walsh. Staying to the close side of the court. Nice block there by Ruggiero and Beer. This is a high hit over. Awkward hit there, and that will be another point for the Cavaliers.
And I tell you what, though, give Carolyn Mercer credit for going after that. She was going backwards and to her left, but she was still able to get the dig and at least get it towards the net, but not in a place as it looks like we're getting the towel out. And now we're putting the towel back, so no moisture on the Convocation Center floor. No one knows what's under the Convocation Center floor, Jay. Did you have any guesses?
Concrete.
It is concrete. I actually know what's under there.
Right.
I've seen it.
Kill attempt unsuccessful as it goes into the net. Little back and forth there. It goes right back over and then directly back down off the hands of Walsh. Another point for Walsh. Walsh really stringing some points together here, but California always stays his team just right behind him.
Coach Emmerich looking at, as she's going to call a timeout, looking at both officials, as I think she thought that ball was out of play, and I tell you what, that was right in front of her, so she might have had the best look, but neither official is going to overturn the other one, and that's going to be a timeout. And we've seen Walsh just kind of bob and weave, to take a boxing phrase out of it, and just kind of extending this lead to 11-3. Once again, Walsh is coached by Brett Holt in his second season. For California, Audrey Emmerich in her first season. Coming into this game, if you're joining us late, some team leaders for California. And this is coming into this game. This does not take into account what has happened this evening. Allie Dronberger leading the team with kills with 66. Flavada in assists with 161. Morgan Johnson leading the Vulcans in aces with 7. Carolyn Mercer with digs, 116. Block Sophia Johnson, 50.0. And then looking over for the Walsh Cavaliers, DeBeese leading in kills with 121. Assists, Jamie Zockler, 169. And I'm not sure we said Zockler's name yet. She's also leading in aces with 12. Digs, 11 good at 147. And blocks with West with 37.0. We're back to it. And a serve for Walsh, leading by 3.
Ball set to Ruggiero. Ruggiero tipped off the hands of Walsh. Walsh running a little bit to keep the ball in play. Weird little floater there to keep the ball in play. With the hands off the hands of the front line of Walsh, it goes out of bounds. That is a point for the Vulcans.
Petrosevic just putting it right off the outside arm, and there was no way that ball was going to stay in play, as we got Flavada coming back in. Checking out for the Vulcans is Morgan Johnson. So maybe a good bit of luck and fortune on this rotation, as you have Flavada going back to serve.
Dug out there by Libero for Walsh. Walsh tips it over the net. Libero for California able to keep the ball in play. Smacking the ball back over the net to Walsh. Setting to the close side of the court. Far hit. Allie Dronberger cannot get to the ball in time.
That has to be so frustrating. That ball was not hit very hard. Dronberger coming on full speed and just kind of floated away from her. Nothing she could do. She's going to check out. Checking in for the Vulcans is number 11, Summer Lux, 5'2" freshman defensive specialist from Warren, PA, the hometown of our sports information director, Matt Kiefer.
Shout out Matt Kiefer. We love Matt Kiefer. Most of us love Matt Kiefer.
We all like Matt Kiefer.
Ball is up and over. Dug out there by Lux. Bumped right back over the net there. Setting the ball close side of the net. Block attempt unsuccessful, but Natalie Beer gets the ball right back over the net. Over the California defenders there. Just to the back side of the court. Point. Cavaliers.
And to be showing why she's leading the team in points, a stat. I'm not 100% sure how it's tabulated in volleyball. Matt has told me millions of times, and I'm not able to understand it. I just know higher is better, and she's leading the team, and right now leading the team to a 13-9 lead.
Over the net there by California. Bumped there by the libero. Tipped into the net. That is a point for the Vulcans.
And I think that play was made by the previous play of Beer. She was coming over, closing off the angle. DeBeese knew she had to go high, and instead just kind of misplayed it into the net. Point California.
And as quick as Lux came into the game, she is right back out of the game for some substitutions. Ball is over by Linkenfelser. Set to the far side of the court, tipped at the net, bumped up into the air. Dronberger with a kill attempt off the hands of the Cavaliers. The ball goes out of bounds. Point Vulcans. Vulcans clawing back just a little bit within this game.
Great job by Dronberger. Again, I think where she's most effective, at least what it seems like to me, a layman, not really knowing with the strategy, but off that left side, she's almost untouchable out there for the Vulcans.
Ball goes out of bounds on the side of California. That is a point for Walsh.
Substitution out for Walsh. Is checking out is 11 Good, the defensive specialist. And since everybody turned their shoulders to me, I did not see the number of the player that came in, so we'll try and identify them as soon as we can.
Set to Beer. Beer gets blocked at the net. A violation. Points for Walsh.
That has the Walsh faithful here at the Convocation Center. Happy. Like I said, a good contingent traveled out, so good to see the support on the road. Pretty good crowd for California at home on a Thursday night. Not a traditional night for volleyball.
Ball is out of bounds. Mistake there gets California a point. California looking to capitalize off this now.
Such an unusual night for volleyball. When I said we need you to announce tonight, you said on a Thursday? I got plans on a Thursday.
I do?
You're all dressed up. You got a suit on.
Oh, you're right. Point goes to California there. Man, on a Thursday, you'd expect me to just commentate by myself, but luckily, the amazing Gary Matthew Smith commentating with me, which is better than what I've had so far this year. Dug out there by Walsh, setting to the far side. Looks like that is somehow going to be legal play there as California sends the ball back over. Sending the ball close side of the court off the hands of Sophia Johnson. The point goes to Walsh.
And I agree with you. I think that point may have lasted a few shots too many. As I think California might have had a fifth shot in there.
I definitely agree. It looked a little awkward there once it went off.
Yeah,
that block.
sometimes when you get that contact at the net, it's hard to tell what constitutes it. But regardless, California lost the point in the end, but has a chance here.
High hit there off the arms of Walsh. Setting it to the outside. Nice block there by Johnson, but it does go out of bounds. Point Walsh.
And Walsh doing a good job of just working the sides, getting some deflections off of California, just extending this lead.
Ball up and over, dug out. Awkwardly, it goes backwards. That is a point once again for Walsh.
And I think that ball knuckled on Lindenfelder. There's another timeout for California. Is that serve really didn't have a lot of pace on it, but it didn't have a lot of spin, and I think it just kind of knuckled away. And Coach Emmerich just calling a timeout, trying to calm her charges down once again. Saturday, JJ, if you're a Vulcan fan, once again, you got options to support the Vulcans. 10 o'clock in the morning, tennis senior day at the tennis facility. Our good friend Nate Kurtz will be taking pictures. You might be there with them.
I will be. I'm actually giving him a ride.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you were his personal Uber right there. And then come straight across the Rodman Park to Adamson Stadium, California versus Gannon. This is for everybody else, not you guys, because I need you to come to work. But
I don't no, I'm okay.
If you're a fan, come and tailgate. And then soccer's going on that day. Check calvulcans.com for that information. And we see a little puppy, a bulldog coming in from the Walsh faithful, wearing number 17, so supporting Kylie Kalina. One of the cutest things you can ever. And that's actually John Sape shooting that, and he went to best center, so that's a bulldog shooting a bulldog.
Holy crap,
but
that's insane.
Soccer, both men's and women's playing on Saturday at home. Check calvulcans.com for the time. And then 5 o'clock here, California in their PSAC West opener versus the Edinburgh Fighting Scots, and Walsh getting a point there off of the play by Sophia Johnson into the net makes it 19-13. So, JJ, we're in the point where it's, Walsh needs 6 before California gets 12.
It's definitely the biggest lead we've seen from either team this entire game, as a nice fast hit there. And another one there from the dynamic duo of Johnson and Dronberger. Awkward tip there. Couldn't tell who that was off the hands of. That's off the hands of California.
And that with Patina just kind of, again, couldn't stop herself. Got underneath the net and crossed over. So Walsh now has a chance to go up 2-0 here with 5 more points. Or, 2-1.
Kill attempt there by Johnson, unsuccessful. Libero bumps the ball, stays on the far side of the court. Nice block there by Johnson. Pavada able to get to the ball in time. Dronberger tips the ball, but once again sent right back at her. Dronberger from a farther back attempt. High hit over the block of California. Pavada sends the ball back over to Dronberger. Dronberger sends it to the libero. From the middle of the court, libero for California. Diving effort there to keep the ball in play, unsuccessful.
And despite the result, you got to like the effort by Lindenfelder as she went back, tried for it, didn't get it, as we have a sub coming in for California. That's number 22, Ashlyn Brookover. And Flavata will sit down for the Vulcans.
Set to Dronberger. Dronberger gets a nice point off the arm of the off the hand of the Cavalier defender. The ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah, it's almost unstoppable when Dronberger comes in off that left side. She kind of slides in, and she has the control to either go straight down, or that time she kind of hit like a cut shot with force to the back corner and just placed it out of the way of anybody for Walsh and gets the point. How are we doing on Instagram, JJ? Are we viral yet?
We got 3 viewers.
Good. That's 3 more than we had earlier.
Dug out there by the libero, set to the outside as attacking Linkenfelser still, again, this entire game. as Ruggiero sends it back over to Walsh. Walsh tips at the net, and there's a violation. Sophia Johnson looking a little confused and or upset there by that call.
Yeah, she's asking Coach Emmerich. I think she wanted a carry against Walsh, but nothing called there. Don't know if she might have been in the net or what the call was, but regardless, Walsh needs 3 points here to get out of set number 3 with a 2-1 lead.
Ball's up and over, dug out by the libero for California, setting to Sophia Johnson off the hands of the block, but Walsh able to keep the ball in play as it is sent high back over. California scrambling to get to the ball. A lot of people in the same place. Setting, tipping. Nice there by Sophia Johnson. Get the ball on the other side of the net. That is a point by Johnson. Make one mistake and she'll come back with a point.
I was going to say, that definitely was 5 hits there for Walsh. There was no way of that getting back over. So California, again, up against it here, but if you're California, maybe do what Walsh did at the end of the first set. They made it close, put it in California's head, and took set 2. So maybe California get a few points here. Maybe ultimately not win this set, but maybe can win the match in 5 as that shot went way out of play.
Point Vulcans. Joenberger once again back for the serve. Dug out there, a little bit of falling there on the side of Walsh. And that hit was not hard enough. That stays on the side of Walsh. Point Vulcans.
And that was just an awkward play. It looked like Anna West was in between thinking about setting it and hitting it over, and that results in a timeout as Coach Brent Holt in his second season will call a timeout, and team will gather and be talked to by one of the assistants. The assistants for Walsh, Jody Kress, Mia Thompson, and Ethan Soltis. And for the California Vulcans, the assistant coach is Elena Torres. And I believe, talking to Matt Kiefer beforehand, I believe Mia Thompson played briefly here at California.
That's interesting. Coming back to her old stomping grounds.
Yep. As we're being informed, our director, Noah, has to leave here in a few minutes. Now she's questioning if I heard her right. But we thank everybody for working hard tonight. Confusion up here in Media Row. Who knows? See what happens when you dress up, JJ? Everyone's all confused.
My bad. I just looked.
I thought I looked good today. I wore a golf outfit. You show up in a.
I look good. Touch my swag. Wish you could.
Oh, that hurt my head. As we're back to action.
Dug out there by Walsh, set to the far side, and that is out of bounds. Points California.
And just look at that. 2 straight points for California. You get closer. The bench is engaged again. You have a chance to get it. And again, this set is not out of reach by any stretch of the imagination. So California get on a run here, maybe put in the heads of Walsh that this can happen. It can happen.
Far side of the court. Joenberger bumps the ball back in the air. Nice light tap over there by California. Walsh into the block of Johnson. Setting once again, attempting it once again, but it goes over. But the libero is in the right place to get the ball in the air as Joenberger just flips the ball back over the net. And the ball goes. Out. That's iffy there. That's a point, California. It does go out of bounds, not off the hands of any California players.
Yeah, everyone was waiting to see if there was a tip there, as that was Bauer just sends it out of play. And like a wise man once said, JJ, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. And California trying to achieve it.
Dug out there by Walsh. Walsh sending it dug out there by California. There's a free ball back over to Walsh. Walsh looking to do something with it now as they send it to the close side of the court. It's off the hands of the block there, but goes over. As Ruggiero sends it to the far side of the court, and that is in bounds. California really rallying here at the end of this third set.
That was a beautiful kill. Ruggiero just finding the back, and another timeout for Walsh, as that's a run for California. And again, if you can believe it, you can achieve it, JJ. Down 2, having a serve. And you got a senior out there serving, so that's, you got to feel comfortable with a senior.
Sure.
She's seen it all. She's been here, a key contributor for her career here at California. And you just got to love what you're seeing as we have Nate Kurtz coming up on camera too. Like to thank Noah Turner for directing a little bit. Now she has to go into the night. Not sure what she's doing. I think she might be saving the world. We don't know.
She's Spider-Man, actually.
I've never seen Noah Turner and Spider-Man in the same room, so it very well could be.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a Spider-Man heroic-like effort for California, as it was 20 to 13 at one point. California down 7, but has narrowed it up to a 2-point deficit. And I think if you're California, you have to really like your attackers up there. You have a front line of Johnson, Reguera, and then you have Droneberger serving in the back.
Sending to the close side as the ball is smacked right back down. Walsh at that timeout made some adjustments that they're very happy with. Substitution now for Walsh.
And Bauer just taking everything I said and threw it right back in my face as she went right around everybody, found some empty court in the back, and now Walsh within 2 of getting the set.
Dug out there by the libero for California. Sophia Johnson off the block. Walsh now on set points.
And that was Bauer again. Once again, Elizabeth Bauer, middle hitter, senior, 6'2" from I don't think she really got up more than 3 inches on that. Didn't have to, is with her wingspan. She's a significant amount over the net already. But Walsh with 4 set points here at the Convo Center.
Ball up and over, set by the Vulcans. Set once again to Ruggiero. Ruggiero, nice point there.
And we're going to see this on the highlights when I cut them tomorrow. Probably back-to-back plays, back-to-back same shots. Ruggiero just finding the back corner with some power and placement. And never say never, JJ.
Never say never. As Caroline Mercer says the ball back over. Kill attempt off the hands of the California team as they keep it in play. As it goes off the hands of the Walsh defenders now. And a nice block there. Once again by Natalie Beer is a free ball back over to California, looking to do something with it. Setting it to the close side, now the far side, off the hands of the Walsh front line. Going towards the back, outside of the court. That is a point for California. California really keeping their name in the game.
California down by 1. Anna West just trying to find the far side, was unable to find it.
Ball up and over, dugout there. Directly back over to California. Light bump there as Natalie Beer goes for the kill, and that is a successful kill there. California now within 1 point.
I'm positive. I thought California, I thought this would tie it up, but California's in fact trailing by 1. Is
set to the close side of the court. Over the block, Droneberger in the right place. Setting it to Ruggiero as she gets it awkwardly back over the net. Close side of the court to the far side, and that is inbounds as the Cavaliers will take the 3rd set, 25-23. We'll be right back here on the PSAC network and the CUTV Sports 1.
More than 7,500 student athletes working to become champions in the league's 23 championship sports. 17 member campuses, educating more than 110,000 students, with an alumni base that tops the 1 million mark. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference making the PSAC proud.
Vulcan football is back and ready to take on the best the PSAC has to offer this fall. After road games at Charleston, Westchester, and Lock Haven, the Vulcans return to Adamson Stadium for the home opener on September 28th. Save the date for October 19th and homecoming versus Slippery Rock. The Coal Bowl comes to Adamson Stadium on October 26th versus IUP. The home schedule concludes with back-to-back games on November 9th versus Edinburgh and Senior Day November 16th versus Shippensburg. For up-to-date information on the Vulcans, follow Cal Vulcans on social media or go to calvulcans.com. For live games and highlights, go to CUTV Sports 1 on YouTube or the PSAC Digital Network.
Sports fans, we pack stadiums, arenas, and local gyms every day. And every sports fan is uniquely human. Seeing each play with your own eyes, triggering your own emotions. And as humans, we won't agree on every call, but we can act with empathy and consideration. So put yourself in the official shoes. Be more than a fan. Be officially human.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Convocation Center as we are going into the fourth set between the Vulcans and the Cavaliers. Cavaliers looking to put this game away. California looking to force a fifth set. We will see what happens here on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC network.
And on the string there, we saw our good friend, Sports Information Director Matt Kiefer, hardest working man at the PSAC, keeping track with him and his staff, JT and Kaylee, down there at Media Row.
Shout out them.
And California will have the serve to start here. Again, trailing 2-1. If you're California, JJ, what is your message coming out of the commercial break?
For the Vulcans, I'd say just continue playing your game. You guys have been in each of these sets. The biggest deficit was 19-25 within the second set, but that's still very within reach, especially when you saw at the end of that third set. California came back within just 2 points of the Cavaliers.
And again, play best 3 out of 5. So if California can win this set, it'll be 2-2, and then you play a fifth set that goes to 15, and anything can happen in short order like that. So we'll see if California can fight their way off the ropes.
Ball hit there by California. California awkwardly gets the ball off the ground back into the air. Kill attempt off the arms of Droneberger, hits the ground. Point Walsh.
And I think that was number 2, Jamie Zuckler, the 5'9" senior from Northfield, Ohio, who will get credit for that point, just fires it to the back, and Walsh once again getting the first point of the set.
Ball's up and over, dug out by California. Set to the far side of the court. Tip at the net by the Walsh front line.
Oof.
As the ball goes just inbounds. Points Walsh once again.
And that was Sydney Dixon, the 5'10" grad student from Valparaiso. As soon as she went up, I knew good things were not going to happen if you're a Vulcan fan, as she had height, angle, and power behind that.
Ball up and over, dug out by California. Favada sends the ball, stays on the far side of the court. Nice there by California, get the Walsh team scrambling a bit. Free ball back over to Droneberger. Favada directly back over. Walsh was not ready for it. Nice change up there, mid-play, to give California the first point of the game.
And Favada over on one. She sensed that there was going to be a hole in the middle as Walsh was in a little bit of a scramble. Jill finds the empty court and gets the first point on the board for the Vulcans here in set number 4.
Up and over, awkward little set there. Walsh able to keep the ball in the air as that's that dart towards the back area of the court. 2 California defenders not able to get to the ball in time.
Great recovery by Walsh there. That was a little bit of an awkward set. Did not affect them as they were able to get the set up and down. As now we have a sub coming in as Favada checks out for California. It looks like
Ashlyn Brookhaver.
Brookhaver, the senior from Smithfield, Ohio. Excuse me, the junior from Smithfield, Ohio.
Ball's up and over, dug out by California, setting the ball to Ruggiero. Ruggiero. Ball is out of bounds. No, not off California. That is yes, off of California.
Yeah, I think Beer just tipped it. And that's what they're going to call. But again, Beer, just her effectiveness, forcing the initial shot to be put higher than what it probably needed to be. But unfortunately, it went off her hands and out for a point, Walsh.
Droneberger's hit into the net. Little bit of disagreements from the California team. Audrey Emmerich talking to the official, actually.
I'm not sure what they could say. I thought maybe they said Droneberger's foot went under, but I don't know if that was the case or not. But regardless, it's a point, Walsh.
Set to Beer. Beer catches them off there, stepping. And that is a nice point by, again, Natalie Beer.
And Natalie Beer really just dominating right now. She's going to go back for the serve.
Sophia Johnson checks into the game. California going with a no libero look. Ball up and over, dug out by Walsh, setting it to the close side of the court. As they go, Brickover able to keep the ball in the air as Ruggiero sends the ball back over the net. Sending the ball high into the air as the kill goes off the arms of Sophia Johnson. Out of bounds.
I think Sophia Johnson was in between going up for an aggressive block or trying to let it go for her back line and kind of got caught flat-footed and goes off of her arm. So 6-2 is the lead for Walsh. Going back to serve is number 17, Kylie Kalina, also from Smithfield, Ohio.
Dug out there by California, set to the far side. Eliza Ruggiero with a nice point there.
And we've seen her be effective with that cross-court shot to the back at least 2 or 3 times in the third set. Now once here in set number 4 as we got a sub, and she'll sit down, and checking in will be Morgan Johnson for the Vulcans, and she will go back to serve.
Ball served up and over by the Vulcans. Bumped up into the air, set to the far side of the court as it goes almost out of bounds, but California decides to play it as it is awkwardly back over the net. Set to close, and that goes out of bounds. Point Vulcans.
Yeah, and again, everybody waiting to see if there was a tip. There was not, and that'll be a chance for a 2-0 run here if Johnson can get another serve to go down.
Ball is up and over, dug out by Walsh. Setting it to the middle of the court. Nice block there by Johnson.
Sophia Johnson doing some damage in the middle there for the Vulcans. So that's 3 straight points there for California.
The ball's up and over the net, dug out by Walsh. Sing it to the far side of the court, and that is just in bounds. Unfortunate there for California. Walsh takes another point.
And Coach Emmerich is saying if that ball was in, that was just the shadow being in his, but the official was right there, and Walsh stops the rally, and we'll have a chance to serve. Going back for Walsh will be Levengood, the setter.
Ball up and over, dugout, by California. Over to Johnson. Johnson, violation there by Walsh. There's a point for the Vulcans.
And I tell you what, Johnson put that in a spot. It was going to be hard for Walsh to do anything as the set or the defensive attempt was going away to the back.
Ali Drumberger now back for the serve. Ball up and over, dugout there. Setting to the far side. Kill attempt unsuccessful as it goes directly towards the California libero. As the hit is not hard enough and she stays on the side of California. Audrey Emmerich having communication with her team.
Petrosevic she's kind of moving to her left and trying to hit it to the right and just didn't get enough oomph to go over the basket as I'm looking at the basket for basketball to go over the net. Going back to serve now for Walsh will be, again, that's Levengood.
Ball up and over, dugout there by California as they send it back into the block off the hands of Walsh, going out of bounds. That is a nice point for the Vulcans.
And Petrosevic making up for that previous little bit of an error. She just puts it off the block and angled out, and point California. Back and forth we go here in set 4.
Set to the far side of the court. Nice hit by Drumberg. Keep the ball in the air. Set to the back side of the court once again. Backside hit goes out of bounds, untouched. Point California.
And JJ, look who was at the front line again. That was Natalie Beer. I think, again, just her presence and what she's done in these earlier sets is just kind of getting into the minds a little bit and making Walsh think a little bit exactly, should we go at it at power or try and get it around the block?
Tipped off the hands of California. That is a point for Walsh.
And that time they went for it and just put it right through Petrosevic in Beer's block attempt. And now we have a sub coming in for Walsh. Is checking back in will be Carly Paw.
Ball served up and over, dugout by Dromberger. Set to the close side of the court as it goes off the arms of the Cavaliers. Point California.
Petrosevic with the ability just to step into that and unleash some Vulcan fire there for the point to tie it up. Ruggiero coming back in and going back to serve will be Brookover.
Ball's up and over, dugout by Walsh. Walsh sending it highly back over to their own team as there's a free ball back over to California. Brookover sets the ball to Beer. Beer hits it a little too far, and that is out of bounds. Point Walsh.
And that sound was the collective holding their breath of Walsh as that ball was just floating, and unfortunately for California, floated a little too far. And I'm not sure the scoreboard's right, as it's been 9-9 for a while up there. We'll wait till it gets caught up.
Nice kill there by Eliza Ruggiero.
There it is. It has caught up, possibly to 10-10. But again, what have we seen Ruggiero doing
Just crossing
every. Yep, crisscross applesauce to the back, and it's been very effective.
As John adjusts me for my live stream.
I'm going to stand in front of JJ now on his live stream, see what happens, see if the views go up.
California serve up and over the net, dug out there by Walsh. Walsh sends it directly back over to California as Droneberger taps the ball back over the net highly, as there is an unsuccessful block by California, but they're able to keep the ball in play. Droneberger sends it towards the libero of Walsh. Kill attempt blocked there once again by Natalie Beer. A little bit of scrambling there. Double hit possibly, but uncalled there by Natalie Beer. As the ball is out of bounds. Yes, it is out of bounds, untouched. California points.
And Coach Emmerich, she had that hand up and was looking at the official. I don't think there was any way that call was going to be called in. Now California, I believe, with a 1-point lead. I'm still not sure if the scoreboard's correct, but we'll go with California ahead by 1.
Set to Droneberger. Droneberger gets it back over the net successfully. Block attempt by Beer and Droneberger unsuccessful, but the ball is in play still as it almost goes too far over. That would have gone out of bounds if she wouldn't have played it. Hit, nice save there by the California libero as Lisa Ruggiero goes instead of cross court directly back. Unsuccessful, nice hit there by Linkensfer. Droneberger off the tip, but Walsh keeps it in play. Nice block there by Beer. Tipped up there. Ruggiero keeps the ball in play as she sends it to Brookhover, and Brookhover sends it into the net.
And so at Brookhover, she had an open court, and she knew it. She kind of looked down, and I think what was happening was she was trying not to telegraph her play and just did not get enough height over the net, and that'll tie the score up at 11. Great rally there by both teams.
That was a good rally by both teams. Up and over dugout there by Linkensfer. Brookhover sends it to a Ruggiero, and that is inbounds. Nice there by the officials to see that. I couldn't even tell myself. As Sophia Johnson comes to the game, and Natalie Beer goes back for the serve.
In the last game we did, I said Ruggiero, and you got me saying it all kinds of different ways, is no in Italian when she was blocking, but now I think that might mean point in Italian, as she's been doing a great job.
Violation. Don't know what the violation there was.
Yeah, not sure. Again, not as versed on hand signals as I would like to be, but went against California, and we're tied at 12, 24 points into set number 4. California trailing 2-1.
Ball up and over a dugout by Droneberger. Ruggiero sends it back over to Droneberger, and Droneberger tipped at the net, but it goes over. Set to the far side of the court. Unsuccessful block. California off the hands of Elisa Ruggiero. Could have even been called for a carry there.
Sydney Dixon, she just came straight down with that kill attempt. I think that if that would have hit the ground, it would have been inside the line. Just a great angle of attack for the grad student from Valparaiso, Indiana.
Sent by Brookhover to Droneberger. Droneberger off the hands. Another violation there. Not sure what the violation was there. Either way, game is all tied up once again.
We have the "you can't do that" chant from California. I wish they would explain a little bit more with another chant like, "You can't do that because here's why." That would help us out a little bit, but what helps us out is a point, and everything's tied up at 13.
Ball served up and over by California. Dug out there by Walsh. Walsh setting it directly back over. Hard hit towards Morgan Johnson, the freshman. As it's freely back over now to Walsh. Walsh sending it directly back over. Sophia Johnson just not in the right place as Walsh goes for one last little hit to hit it off course a little bit.
And I tell you what, the power on that kill and the dig attempt, if that was about 10 more feet closer to the scoreboard, we might have needed a new scoreboard here. That was heading straight for the panels here at the Convocation Center. That was a powerful, powerful swing and dig.
Ball up and over set by libero, setting to Sophia Johnson. Ball now from the far side, off the hands of Lichtenfelser. Point Cavaliers.
Key part of the match here is now Walsh should be up by 2, 15-13. Again, playing to 25 here in set number 4.
Ball up and over dugout by California, sending it to the close side of the court. Directly off the block from Dromberger. Tipped instead of hard hit there, confusing the front line for Walsh. Nice hit by Linkenfelser. As the ball goes off the hands, possibly. Yes, that is a point. California.
Went off the hands of Anna West in the back there, as I think she was kind of in between realizing it might have been out had she not touched it, and also at the last minute thinking it might have been in, and she hit it. It goes out. Point California.
Dromberg with the serve up and over. Set to the far side of the court. Hit at the net. Unfortunately, California unable to get to the ball there. The attempt was made by Morgan Johnson, the freshman.
I think Anna West will get credit for the kill for Walsh. Is checking back in for the Cavaliers will be Carly Paul. She will go back to serve. It's Paul, the freshman outside hitter from Columbus, Ohio, 5'10".
Dug out by Dromberger. Set to close side of the court. Nice effort there by the libero for Walsh to keep the ball in play. High hit there, but Dromberger keeps the ball in play once again. Just tapped at the net. Dromberger on her toes to keep the ball in play. As off the hands of the Walsh team. Point there by Sophia Johnson.
Sophia Johnson's going to check back out, and Natalie Beer is going to sub in, and almost a case of maybe defense for offense there. Is Johnson's a great blocker, and Beer's a great offensive player. There's a stoppage right here. Is the officials are talking to Coach Emmerich, and I think she wanted a towel. Is there some moisture on the floor here at the Convocation Center? Once again, score 16-15. Definitely want to be safe out there. As you got players flying around, you don't. One last thing you want is someone slipping and being out for the season.
Especially this early within the season. Set to the far side of the court. California with a nice block, but it goes over the net, point toward for Walsh.
Yeah, it went around the antenna and out. As we have a sub now. Checking back in will be Paul. Checking out for Walsh will be Kalina.
Ball up and over dugout there by California, setting to the outside. Off the hands of the libero. Marie Perchevic will be credited with the point there for the Vulcans.
We've seen her get into some grooves right now in this game. She's 5'11", freshman from New Freedom. Definitely a young player for Coach Emmerich, but again, when she's getting those sets in rhythm, she's able to put it down and has been very effective for California.
Ball's up and over, dug out by Walsh, set to the middle of the court, tipped over. Nice attempt, nice effort there by Favada to keep the ball in play. Marie Perchevic keeps the ball. Hard hit off the hands of Walsh, out of bounds. Point California.
Once again, she was able to get that set pretty much in stride, and when she has all that power going forward, it's tough to even be able to will yourself to stand in front of it, whether or not, and even to make a play.
Ball dug out there, set to the far side, hit, dug out there once again by Favada. Libero bumps the ball into the air as Dromberger sends it towards the back row. One player there ready for it. Set to the far side, ricochets off two California defenders, but they keep the ball in play. Setting to the close side as the ball goes once again towards Dromberger. Favada sets the ball to Marie Perchevic. Setting the ball to the far side, and that is just inbounds.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. That was right in front of the California bench, but I think that was in by a few inches, and that's going to be unfortunate for Californians. They've usually been in this matchup on the receiving end or the recipient of long rallies. That time Walsh was able to get a point and go up by one, 18-17.
Bump there by Favada. Kill attempt successful by Marie Perchevic.
And like I said, she's going to take a seat. No, she's going to take a seat. No, she's going to go back and serve, but that, unfortunately for California, that gets her off the front line because when she's in full flight, like I said, she's been tough to handle.
Marie Perchevic's back now for the serve. Ball up and over, dug out there by libero for the point there for Walsh.
Yeah, that just went right off the back line of California. Walsh will get the serve and a chance to break the 20-point mark here in set number 4. And also, if they win this set, it's over. California trying to avoid losing 3-1 here. Again, they went to Clarion on Tuesday and played a very tough Clarion squad.
Set to the outside. Ruggiero off the block, but keeps the ball in play. Once again, aiming that back open corner. Kay Linkenfelser could not get to the ball in time. And
of course, I said earlier, California opening PSAC West play on Saturday. What I meant to say is opening PSAC West home plays. Again, they went up to Clarion, a perennial powerhouse in the PSAC and in the region. California able to take a set off of them up there at Tippin Gymnasium. Tough place for any sport they're playing in there. Kind of weird angles, weird sight lines. They renovated a few years ago. It looks beautiful, but definitely talking a couple players in a couple different sports. It's just a different feel, smaller building, and California doing a good job to go up there on a Tuesday night, taking a set. Ultimately losing 3-1 coming here, non-conference game. Definitely think you take this game just to try and keep from going 4 or 5 days in a row without a match. And again, Saturday at 5 o'clock, right here at the Convocation Center.
I'll be watching from work. I'm so sorry.
We will give you a shout-out.
All right.
Again, a full slate of action. We won't go through it again. Just go to calvulcans.com. There are 5 home events on Saturday, so come out, wear your red and black, and support the Vulcans. Yesterday was the annual day of giving, pretty successful in fundraising for the Vulcan Athletics program. Some great things going on campus here.
Nice kill attempt there by Ruggiero. Ball goes out of bounds, not off of California. There's a nice point there for California.
And Ruggiero just don't know if I've ever seen that. She was trying to say, no, I didn't tip it, but almost kind of looked like a bird flapping as she came away. Definitely everyone in the building knows something happened and she didn't do it.
Set there, kill attempt unsuccessful. Successful off the hands of Favada. Into the scores table. Matt Kiefer, hopefully you're okay.
Yeah, Favada just getting there a second late and pushes it out, and I believe that makes the score 21-19. Scoreboard has it 20-19, but I think it's a 2-point game right now.
Luckily, the broadcast scoreboard is correct. Set by Favada to Dronberger. Dronberger hits the ball to the backside of the court, unsuccessful there. Kill attempt off the hands of Johnson, out of bounds. That is a point once again for the Cavaliers.
And Johnson did everything she could. She held her ground, but that kill attempt was coming in at a high rate of speed, and just nothing you can do to stop that.
Ball served up and over dugout by Dronberger. Set once again to Dronberger. Set to the close side of the court. Just a missile there towards Kay Linkenfelser. Bumped back over as a kill attempt unsuccessful once again. Set to Sophia Johnson. Sophia Johnson quickly gives the ball back. Nice block there by Johnson. Favada sets the ball to Ruggiero. Ruggiero hits the ball. Unfortunately, it was not a kill, but it is off the arms of the Cavaliers, landing on their side of the court.
And circle those 2 digs by Kay Lindesfelder as she was spun around twice, kept 2 very good kill attempts in play for California, and California able to keep the rally going and get the point. And we're in terminal volleyball time as California trailing by 2.
Up and over, dugout by the libero. Set to the far side of the court. Dugout there towards the bench. California keeps it in play. Free ball back over. Set, kill attempt successful. Walsh only needing 2 more points before California gets 5.
But once again, Lindesfelder doing everything she could to extend it off of the dig attempt by Ruggiero. She went into the bench, kept it in, but good set by Walsh and a kill, and 2 points away from taking this match.
Dug by Ruggiero. Sending the ball over to Dronberger. Kill attempt blocked there by Sophia Johnson.
And Sophia Johnson, it almost like a pop-up in baseball. You can almost see her body language saying, I want this, as she saw it the whole way and was able to blast it down. And California now, again, if you believe it, you can achieve it. can go on a run here and maybe steal game 4 or set 4. And there's one.
Somehow that was within range of the antenna. Ball back over, hit, and that is another point for the Vulcans.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that stayed a legal play. We're going to have to go down there and look, JJ. That must have went right over the antenna. But
I'll start walking down there to look for you.
Thanks. I appreciate it, buddy.
You're welcome.
But Dronberger, an all-important serve to either tie this up or give Walsh a chance to serve out the match.
Dug out there by Walsh, setting to the far side of the court. Tipped over. Ruggiero able to keep the ball in play. A little bit of scrambling there. Is Johnson just a little one hand over to get over the net. Kill attempt. Unsuccessful. Nice dig there by Ruggiero. Tipped over the net. Dug out by Walsh, setting it to the far side of the court once again. California keeps the ball in play, but it does not go over the net. Walsh is now on game point.
It went against the Vulcans, but great effort by Ruggiero and Lindisfelder. They did everything they could to keep that point alive for California, but Walsh leading 24-23.
Ball up and over, dug out by Dronberger. Tipped into the net, but they are able to keep the ball in play. One more hit is off of Dronberger. Bumping the ball over to Linkenfelser. Set to the far side of the court. Tipped at the net, but that will be the game. Walsh will take the 4th set, 25-22 here in the Convocation Center. Great effort by both teams. A lot of nice rallies there. I'd like to thank everyone here within the Convocation Center, especially my crew here with me at CUTV to get this nice production on. Shout out everyone here in the Convocation Center. A lot of people here. But that is the game. 3-1 over the California Vulcans. Walsh will take the game. But that is all I have for you here on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network.